What's up, guys? Okay, I am in my garage, and it's not an object lesson. There's nothing super profound about the fact that I'm hosting this video in my garage, other than I picked up my son from school, and now I have two sleeping babies in the car. And I was like, should I be like a silent ninja mom and risk transporting them inside the house, or should I sit it out in the car? So I'm choosing I'm choosing to sit it out in the car. So they have the doors open. I'm sitting here looking at the car now. You probably can hear the van in the background, but that's why I myself am sitting in my garage. But I wanted to go over day 9 with you guys because while my kids are asleep, I thought what a better time to meet with my Live Slow Bible studiers and talk about this chapter of the discipline of place. Now, when you first read this chapter, you might be like, I don't know what that means. Place, placement, where, like where I live. No, it's basically like the discipline of knowing your place in this world, okay? But it's really talking about our respect and our honor with authority. And because we are humans, because it's the way God orchestrated things, that there are things of authority in our life, right? So we have bosses, we have teachers, we have presidents, we have government, we have police, we have, enforcement. So there are places in which I show respect and honor, and then other places where I demand respect and honor, like my kids. I expect them to respect me. That don't always happen, but I'm trying to teach them to use respect with their words, with their attitude, and in the same sense, like the government that God put, in charge of us, I must respect that authority as well. Now I bring it back like to the idea of sportsmanship, and when I had coaches and leaders in high school that I liked or didn't like, and I had to submit to their authority regardless. But this chapter is less about sportsmanship and less about our government. I'm not like trying to be political in that sense, but as an act of obedience to understand our place, there's a sense of reverence that I think our generation has forgotten about. And I'm talking about the reverence, like reverence in the idea of knowing our place in God's kingdom, knowing that God is God and we are humans, okay? And she gave a couple of illustrations of understanding place, and I love the fact that she referenced Princess Diana's wedding, because she obviously wrote this years ago, but we are what? Does anybody know? We are about to embark upon another royalty wedding with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, who I love. Anyways, I watched that show Suits, and that's actually where we got Scotty's name. Scotty was named after a character in Suits who Meghan was a part of. Anyways, I digress. It was exciting because she related that idea of authority and that idea of honor, and how the people of London gave honor and respect to this royal family. But the royal family didn't demand it. They're not like, I demand the most, hierarchy, fancy, publicized wedding because I am awesome. No, it's honestly the royal family knew their position, and gave back to the community by simply smiling and greeting and showing honor and respect back to them. So as she was positioning that, I was like, okay, I can kind of see it, but like, I live in Florida. We don't have kings and queens and princes and princesses, although I would like to think that me and my daughter are princesses, right? But it's really just about like our respect to not feel, okay, better word, not being entitled. Not feeling entitled that because we have a certain degree, because we have certain qualifications, because we have XYZ under our belt, like that we are entitled certain privileges. And it's, in this day and age, we talk a lot about equality and a lot about, men and women are equal and love is equal and everyone just has the same playing field. Well, Elizabeth Elliot kind of presents it in a different way. She says, we're not all equal. She's like, we are not all equal. God designated some people above us and below us. It doesn't mean that we show disrespect. It doesn't mean that just because I am authority over my kids that I am able to be disrespectful to them and that I don't honor them. And just like me and my husband are a team, but God did put me, in a marriage, a man and a woman, in certain roles that I love being a nurturer of my family, and my husband loves being the protector of our family, and that's, kind of a natural role that we have. But God says clearly in His Word that a man should love his wife as the church, and a woman should submit to the husband. Now I know that word submit, you're like, whoa, you might not be like that. I used to be like that because I'm a pretty headstrong, independent woman. But the word submission does not mean that you are bidding over all of your rights and you're bowing down and saying, you are always right and I am the servant. No, you're basically just submitting in a sense of saying, look, my position here is to serve you in whatever capacity I am able to. And I'm going to give you guys a quote here because it's about entitlement. Like if you wake up in the morning and you think you're entitled to certain things, then that might be a pride issue, because I don't think you're entitled to anything. I think that we should wake up in the morning and say, God, what do you want me to do? Just like, okay, in the book she talked about missionaries and how missionaries, if they're overqualified, they go out in the field, they think, well, I don't want to clean toilets. Like, I'm qualified to do this. I'm qualified to sit here and build a house. I don't want to give medicine to this other family in need. And she says, you need to be flexible and humble in all areas of your life, no matter what your experience, no matter who you think you are, because God can use you whenever and however he pleases. Let me find this quote before I keep talking and distract myself even more. I really felt like this chapter was helpful for me. Oh, here we go. It says, his obedience enabled him to do anything at all. This is Jesus. Jesus' obedience enabled him to do anything at all that would please the Father without the how does it look. So when we're thinking about the discipline of place, we have to just say, I'm willing to serve in any capacity, and I don't care how it looks. I don't care if I have to do the grunt work. I don't care if, I'm the VP of this company, but I'm having to do the minuscule work. I'm not going to hoard my leadership or authority or influence over anybody, but I'm going to serve openly, because honestly, that's how you create an organization that thrives anyways. But another idea is this. A missionary must be humble enough to be flexible nowadays. Humble enough to be flexible. Nowadays, young candidates are often so highly trained that they feel overqualified for the jobs to be done. Most mission stations are in desperate need of people who are willing to do anything that needs to be doing. It is fine to offer oneself to service, but the form of service must not be too narrowly defined. And she goes on and on about how she had the privilege of, going to translate the Bible in this kingdom, in this new jungle area. But she went there thinking that she was going to be in a position of maybe authority, where she's going to be like an educator. But she went there and basically she had to clean up after everybody. She had to work late nights figuring out how to put the gas in her gas lamp and how to make sure that the kerosene refrigerator that she was doing wasn't going to go bad and that all of her food was going to rot. She didn't necessarily sign up for those roles, but in order to fulfill God's role for her, you have to be willing to do the little things and then the big things. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. An overlying theme that I am learning from this book is that God is in the small things and the big things, and we must be disciplined in all of them. And off the top of my head, I cannot remember the quote, this exact verse, but I'll reference it in our email. It's the verse about being stewardly with the small things, and then God will honor you with the bigger things. And I don't know it off the top of my head. I know it's not like I didn't quote it just there. I butchered that, but that's the concept, right? Anyways, happy Thursday, guys. I hope you're having a blessed day. Let me know what you learned and what you think about the discipline of place.